Hey, I'm Jimmy from Polar Bear Club, and you're watching Swept Away TV.
Hi, I'm Jared Carmen from Rockstar Stories, and here we are interviewing one of the members of the Polar Bear Club. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Jimmy. I sing in Polar Bear Club.
So what do you think of the tour so far?
It's actually really cool. This is like the first week and a half. We're getting into some awesome weather, which is nice. But the shows have been rad. This is like one of the best. We do a lot of weird tours. We do a lot of tours where like we're the weird band on it. But this is actually one of the best, most fitting tours we've done in a while. So it's nice to be around that sort of energy. It's cool.
It's fun.
Yeah.
How'd you get involved in this tour?
Simple. They asked. When we said yes, it's that simple. But
why refuse?
exactly. We didn't have anything going on at the time. We wanted to be in the U.S. at this time, and it was cool to be a part of a charity. And we'd never done anything like that before, so it was cool to sort of see what that feels like. We spend so much time touring for us. It's kind of cool to be like supporting something bigger than yourself. Yeah.
It's a good feeling,
Yeah.
So if I'm right, this is about like sexual awareness and like sex education.
Yeah.
What's your opinions on all this?
Well, the charity's called Sex Etc., and it's just about open sexual education, and that, I mean, you just can't really beef with that, I don't think, and it's cool because when we signed on to do this tour, it was, this sex education charity, cool, but as the tour came closer to happening, like, it became sort of a hot issue with, Planned Parenthood got involved, and with their whole funding and all, and it's became like this cool issue in the media. So it's kind of nice and brings more attention to the tour and to the charity, and it's a great cause.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like you guys have toured with like big bands like Gaslight Anthem. What's been your favorite band to tour with? Gaslight
was incredible. That was like the first big tour we ever really did. We toured with them in the U.S. and then we did a European tour with them. I mean, those guys will be our friends forever. But I mean, we're sort of like, we get along with absolutely everybody. So I mean, we've toured with like, we've toured from Face to Face to Bring Me the Horizon, and we get along with all of them and everyone in between. So it's been, I mean, we're really easygoing, friendly guys.
Now, if I'm correct, you guys started in upstate New York?
That's right. Yeah, we're from Rochester and Syracuse.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love New York.
Yeah.
So how'd you guys really just get started? Just playing in the basement, or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had I'm 26, and I mean, we've been doing bands since we were 15, locally, and going to hardcore shows, and sort of just, I mean, we've been in so many different bands with each other and touring with each other's different bands. Finally got to this band, and we were like, hey, do you want to do this thing? It's sort of part-time. It'll be fun. So-and-so is going to do it, and we'd love, I actually joined the band last. I was there. They were like, we need a singer. Let's do this thing. And so they had already recorded their demo, and I went in and just recorded vocals on the demo that was already written, and it actually like picked up some steam locally and on the internet and that sort of thing.
You guys got signed pretty fast, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've been a band since 2005, but we've probably only been like touring full time since 2008, I believe. But we've been doing this forever, and now it's just on a slightly bigger scale.
Do you have nicknames like the whole group?
In the band? I mean, yeah. Well, Goose is our bass player, and I mean, that's like more than a nickname. I mean, his real name's Eric, but I mean, that's really strange to call him Eric. But Goose is like, everyone knows Goose. There's another Goose, too, the singer Comeback Kid's named Goose also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you get the nickname Goose?
He doesn't even really know, I don't think. Like, he thinks it just happened in middle school, and it just stuck. I don't even really know the story, but it's just, if you see him, it just sort of fits.
Yeah. I can see that. It's like, what are your musical inspirations? Like any band in particular, really?
I mean, we get inspiration from everywhere, man. Music, movies, books, relationships, all that stuff. But musically, I mean, I love, like, lyrically, I get a lot of inspiration from like the Hold Steady and the Replacements and Elvis Costello and that sort of thing. I love that style of a funny, witty lyric, because I think that's missing a lot from some modern bands.
I totally agree, believe me.
You can't really like feel that gut-wrenching hit unless you've sort of laughed first, which is why I love Elvis Costello so much, is because he makes you laugh in the first line, and then in the middle of the song he hits you hard with some powerful shit. But yeah, I mean, musically though, my favorite band probably of all time is Jimmy Eat World. Just like, God, it's such a perfect band. And of course, like Foo Fighters and Against Me and Gaslight and Balance and Composure and Title Fight and Fireworks, all these sort of modern bands as well provide this sort of healthy competitive inspiration. Like, I mean, we just recorded a new album at the same studio that Fireworks did their new album, and I remember we were giving it a listen before we started tracking, and I just was listening to it and like, holy shit, this is amazing, and I've got to do that much better because they've done so good themselves.
Healthy competition.
Yeah, it's cool, but I mean, that record is incredible. It hasn't come out yet, but it's gonna blow some minds.
Now, for those who are unfamiliar with you at home, how would you describe yourself, like genre-wise?
That's always weird to do. You know, it's because I mean, really, all we really do is just write the music that we want to hear, and explaining it past that seems strange a lot of times. I mean, I know what people say we sound like. People say that we sound like Hot Water Music or Rise Against, with like some sort of like Get Up Kidsy 90s emo vibe thrown in there too. But you know, and that's all accurate and fair. I love all those bands, but I mean, honestly, we don't really try to think of that because we like to make all sorts of different types of songs, you know? So we just really are just, the only criteria we have for our music is, does it excite us? And that's all we do, and that's all we're gonna do.
What would you say like your general message, like you're trying to get out through your music is?
I don't know if we have one really. I mean, a lot of the songs are pretty much about relationships. I mean, to people, to your situation, like, and to your life. You know, I mean, if there is a sort of creed or message, it's that I don't have any answers or anything like that. I mean, I was looking at the lyrics for this new album we have coming out, and I was noticing there's a lot of question marks at the end of lines. And I always loved that style of writing, that sort of, here's the question, I'm not going to answer it for you, but I'm putting it out there. And that's sort of creepy and hard-hitting to me. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I sort of say in music is in my songs is like, if this, then what else? Or is it like this, or is it like this? It's all about perception and optimism and pessimism, and it's really, I mean, as selfish as it sounds, the lyrics are just about my life, really. That's it, I guess, just a story of a dude.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys?
Dude.
Well, don't tell everybody else that. No, do you guys have any wild stories or anything, or?
Well, actually, the last time we were in Fort Lauderdale was probably one of the most wild nights I've ever been on tour. We played this place as well, and they had sort of rented out this bar for a little after party at the show, and it was like, I mean, it was the Alternative Press tour. It was us and Bring Me the Horizon and August Burns Red and Emarosa and This Is Hell, and it was just, we all just, I mean, you know, that's a lot of people on tour. That's like 30, 40 people on tour together. And you never, and sometimes, you know, 5 people are really into partying one night, no one else is. But that night, everyone was just down to party. And so, like, we had the buses set up like this on both sides of the road, so it almost becomes like a little one-way street down here. Cars would have to slow down to get past us, and we were all out, and we were just opening the doors of cars as they walked by, getting into strangers' cars, getting on top of strangers' cars, dancing on top of cars, stage diving off our trailers into our friends. It was pretty wild. It was a good memory.
So hopefully you didn't wake up and you lost Goose.
We didn't lose Goose that night. We actually lost our merch man, though. He jumped in the back of a pickup truck, and they drove about 5 miles down the road, and he was gone for about an hour and a half. That was funny.
So if you guys have like a favorite piece of music that you guys have done, what would it be?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't on the newest record that we just finished, and you know, it's a little unfair because no one's heard it yet. But I mean, really, that's the stuff that I'm most proud of, and I'm really excited for that to come out and people to hear that, because I mean, you know, we play these songs, you know, every night of the year, pretty much. So you feel them in a different way. But these new songs that we have are still so fresh and exciting to us that there's some stuff on there. There's one song that's really just sort of brooding and it's not like soft, but it's not a very heavy song. It's just more of a pretty brooding. It reminds me of like a Sunny Day Real Estate or Elliott song. And that song, I'm really proud of that song. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Yeah. So I think we're out of time, but could you tell the folks at home what your new album is called and when it will come out?
It's called Clash, Battle, Guilt, Pride, and it's slated now to come out late summer, early fall. We're still working on it, but definitely in that time frame of this year.
I'll be sure to get it.
Please do.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate
Thank
it. Have a nice day.
You too.